right.
Welcome. We are Dem Boys Watch Footy. Your source for footy, culture, and fun. My name is Eric, and then this is my boy PJ.
What's up?
How's everybody doing today? It is Eclipse Monday.
Yep.
It has been a very biblical time these last 5 days.
Strange times.
Yeah, we had an earthquake on Friday in New York.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I like living personally.
Yeah, it was different.
It's something that I'm into.
And then as well today, the eclipse just passed. We were outside for a little bit. PJ was actually able to look up with some glasses. He didn't destroy his eyes.
Well, I also looked without my glasses too, which was not smart, even though you told me 9 times not to.
Yeah, definitely tried to, but here we are. Thank you again for giving us some time. We can be found on all platforms right now. We're on YouTube. We are on Spotify. We are on Apple Podcasts. Thanks again for joining us today. Where we want to start right now, weekend was pretty crazy with footy. My bets last week, E's bets, we went 5 for 6.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
5 for 6.
LAFC won, and they were 2.5 goals. Arsenal won, but there was only 2 goals scored. I had said for 3.5 over.
So let me ask a question as someone who's kind of I've maybe gambled on sports a dozen times in my entire life, so pretty new to it. These bets are supposed to be like 50-50. Right?
Depends on the odds that are given per bookmaker.
What I'm trying to say is 5 for 6 is really good, right? Because I'm trying to get perspective on this.
Yeah, 5 for 6 is really good. Unless you parlayed all of the bets together, then that doesn't count.
But like, even if you over time got like, let's say 60%, you're still beating Vegas or whatever, so that's good.
Yeah, if you're making all of those bets individual, or you're only picking and choosing which ones that you wanted to from what I gave, then you're in a good place.
5 for 6.
5 for 6, really good. So I got some good bets for this week as well. Champions League starts again this week, starting on Tuesday. We got a few different games to go over with that. Yeah, over the weekend, what games did you watch, or what you get into?
Well, I had a big event on Saturday, so that was fun. A rooftop party. We're here in New York City. If anyone wants to come and watch live, we'll raffle off tickets.
Okay.
But after that, I recovered and watched a little bit of AC Milan. Christian Pulisic had a banging goal with his left foot.
Yeah,
so.
he had 10. He's at 10 goals in Serie A now.
Goals.
Yeah, that's actually huge for an American to do, especially with Rafael Leao.
But Pulisic's having, I think Leao is regarded as a better talent, but Pulisic is having a better season than he is.
Really?
Absolutely. He has better stats.
Are we talking
I'm
about
not saying Christian Pulisic is better than Rafael Leao, but he has more goals for sure, and I believe more assists. He's at 10 goals, 6 assists, and he was made in America, Hershey, Pennsylvania. So
yeah,
I'm excited.
Where did he go? Though? He went over to Europe, honed his craft, and now look what he's doing now.
Pulisic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jurgen Klinsmann, back when he was the old coach. That is exactly what he said America needs to do. He was not a very good X's and O's guy.
Mm-hmm.
But what he did say, get those players over to Europe, get them playing against the best. And we're seeing it day in and day out with a lot of our top imports. Like, we're doing really well with that. So
Absolutely. Yeah. No, he came over very early. He didn't even play in MLS at all. And, he had a few less than stellar years with Chelsea, but he's just having a phenomenal season with AC Milan now, and we'll see how it continues into the Copa America, which I'm juiced up for. But I'll let you continue, but that's what's on my mind right now.
I'm a little scared. That kid from Brazil, that 17-year-old, he is starting to light things up right now.
Now who's this?
Endrick. He is going to be going over to Real Madrid at the end of the season. He's 17 years old. He's essentially the next Pele right now.
Where is he?
He actually just won with Palmeiras this past weekend. That's his 5th trophy within the last 2 years, and he's about to go
17 years old.
17 years old. The man looks like he is going to be the next Pele. He's very stout. He's very tricky on the ball. He knows what he's going to be doing with Vinicius Jr. and Rodrigo, and possibly, well, actually not possibly, Kylian Mbappe at Real Madrid starting next season. So it's going to be a pretty crazy front line next year to deal with.
Is he like getting playing time for Brazil?
Yeah, he got his first goal this past break, the international break. They played against England, and they won that matchup with his goal.
Okay.
So, and he played against Spain. He also scored in that one. So, yeah, he's starting to do really well.
Damn.
Yeah, he's a real deal right now.
We might see him in the Copa America then, is what you're saying.
Oh, we're definitely going to see him in the Copa America.
Okay.
Yeah.
Might have to go because I'm thinking about going to USA and Bolivia with one of my friends. That's in Texas.
Oh.
But I don't know where Brazil is playing, but it'd be cool to check them out.
It's a lot of games to check out, a lot of different squads to check out. I mean, I do wonder where Colombia is going to play. I do wonder where Argentina is going to play at, just because there are different pockets all across the U.S. where you're going to just see a groundswell of support for all of these different teams, like we were talking about last week.
Yeah, wherever the games are.
Yeah, wherever they go, you're going to see U.S. citizens just coming out in full force, just hopefully filling up all of these stadiums.
U.S. citizens, but not necessarily
That's why I said
USA fans.
That's why I said U.S. citizens.
Yeah.
I'm going with the citizen push first, and then after that, we look at the different demographics that come out with it. So
Yeah.
We know that people here like to spend money for footy. So
yeah, I think we should definitely, as Copa America gets closer, have some more episodes focused on that. And us being in New York, there's games at the Meadowlands. Hopefully we can go to a game.
For sure,
that'd be sweet.
Definitely, we'll try to see
live
if anybody
show.
knows if we can get hooked up with some tickets. Our connects aren't in those positions anymore. I used to work over for the International Champions Cup, and that's how I got a lot of my international matches to go to in New York.
That you worked for them specifically with what company?
It was Relevant Sport. So that is the squad that is actually in litigation right now with U.S. Soccer about a monopoly that they have, but that's for another.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, that's a whole different can of worms that we can kind of explore another time.
For sure.
But Relevant Sport, that's how we were able to go. It was Manchester City versus Liverpool here. This was back in, this was a time ago. But that was one of the better times because that was my first foray into working for clubs internationally, and then actually getting the Portugal versus Ireland matchup. That was a really big one that kind of solidified my interest in world footy within the United States, trying to get more games over here. So it's been really good to see, like, the Copa America is coming. We have, World Cup, of course. So it's a lot of great things. It's a lot of great things that have been popping up based off of that groundwork that was laid out by the squads there. So
absolutely, yeah. And for those of you who are just watching for the first time, this is how we worked in soccer together a while ago. He was there a little longer, so instead of hustling and calling and selling tickets, we're here with you now, giving you the latest news. So yeah, like I said, definitely want to get into the Copa America a little more as it gets close. But what else is going on in the weekend recap? What's important in the EPL and the Italian league, which I follow a lot because we have a lot of Americans there.
Okay. So if we're going to start off with EPL, we're going to have to start off with Liverpool versus Manchester United. Ended up being a great result for both fans of Arsenal as well as Manchester City. Yeah. Arsenal loved. I don't know if you guys were able to follow us on Dem Boys Watch Footy on Instagram. Actually was able to post up at O'Hanlon's after the score. We scored to go up 1-0, and just huge dance just erupted around the bar.
That's right, next to my apartment.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not an Arsenal fan, though.
You should definitely go to a match.
Yeah.
It's a great viewing experience, especially when you want to be able to find different fans within the area. Like, you're a big footy fan, you can probably go to watch a lot of U.S. matches there. So
I have. There was no U.S. fans there.
Really?
Yeah. If anyone knows where the best U.S. bars are, please let me know, because I go to where the American Outlaws go. That's like the biggest fan group.
That's Legends.
And I haven't been able to find a lot of good places to go watch U.S. games. I think there's more. The EPL teams have their own bars.
Yeah.
So if you're out there, let me go. Let's have some beers and yell at the TV together. So.
Well, yeah, Legends has always been like the main one, Football Factory in Midtown, but there have been a few others that I've even done some partnerships with to try to create like buzz from the club team, but also because of the fact that we needed them to actually get some visibility.
Yeah.
Like the bars are where you are usually getting different fans to come out to different games. So,
yeah.
What other bars? Smithfield as well. That is one of my top bars within New York to go to for either a club game or World Cup matchup or US game. Like I watched majority of my World Cup experience last winter. It was 2 winters ago, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2022 November.
Yeah. That was a great, again, going back to last week's episode, that was an amazing final, but that spot was where I posted up the entire time for those 30, 40 days. So, yeah.
That's a good spot. I saw Stuart Holden out there. It's not New York is interesting because even beyond soccer, just venues are not huge. Like even in comedy, this room is used a lot for comedy. Some of the most iconic places are not like huge places, but all the NBC guys and former MLS players were there. But yeah, I want to go to. I mean, looks like some really cool bars across the country for soccer, maybe that are even better than the ones in New York. So if you have any recommendations when I go to Texas or wherever to watch the Copa America, let us know where to post up.
Definitely,
for sure.
Definitely. Now, Arsenal is top of the league right now, tied, but ahead on goal differential. It's only
who are they tied with?
We're tied with Liverpool. Manchester City has 70 points. Arsenal and Liverpool have 71 points. There are 8 matches left in the entire EPL season, so
it's going to be good.
Yeah, that's going to be a crazy finish.
It's going to be good, yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like as long as City doesn't win, it's exciting because they just buy the world, and it's like. As long as it's not City, because like I don't have a team. Yeah. Unlike everyone else, I just follow the U.S. players. I'm like, as long as City doesn't win, that's Arsenal. Sure.
Okay.
You like Arsenal because of Henry?
Yeah.
But
I'll take any and all the extra love that we need right now.
City's got cool jerseys though.
We'll see. Arsenal have some amazing jerseys. This year we have the highlighter green and blue black kit.
Oh, that's a sick kit.
Exactly.
That's a sick kit.
We can rock them. We're one of the few teams that have a lifestyle kit that actually is being pushed with rapper Pusha T.
Like, oh wow.
Yeah, we got some good culture out here. So okay. Arsenal is
I'm still not converting to a fan, but I'll respect the jersey.
I feel it. And then as well, going into our week, we have Champions League, and I kind of want to parlay that into E's Bet segment this week.
Let's go. 5 for 6 last week.
Yeah. So right now, Arsenal versus Bayern Munich. They're the German champions, but they might be dethroned upcoming. Real Madrid versus Manchester City. Paris Saint-Germain or PSG versus Barcelona. And then Dortmund versus Atletico Madrid. So right now for this week, E's Bets. Only thing that I'm saying, Arsenal is going to beat Bayern Munich.
Really?
Yeah, I have that feeling. Real Madrid is going to beat Manchester City. I'm gonna get back to that once I push them all out.
It's because you like them.
I'm gonna push that out a little bit later.
Leave the heart out. Yeah. But all right, I trust you.
So we got Arsenal versus Bayern Munich. Arsenal is taking that win. Real Madrid versus Manchester City. I have that under 3 goals. Don't have a winner for that matchup. I'm just leaving that up to chance. But Real Madrid versus Manchester City under 3 goals. Paris Saint-Germain versus Barcelona, we're having 2.5 goals over. And Dortmund versus Atletico, we're having 11.5 corners for that matchup. So
we're betting on corners.
Hey,
now.
we're trying it all out. So that's 4 different bets that one. So we have Arsenal versus Bayern. That's a clear Arsenal win. Real Madrid versus Manchester City.
Clear Arsenal win.
Under 3 goals. PSG versus Barcelona over 2.5 goals. And Dortmund versus Atletico 11.5 corners over.
I mean, the one that stands out to me is PSG versus Barcelona, you said?
Yeah.
And the over is only 2.5?
I have it as 2.5 goals over, yes.
That seems like that's got to be more than 2.5 goals.
I do feel as though people do want to play defense, especially in the first leg of Champions League.
No.
Really? Why do you feel that? Kylian Mbappe is going to be great.
Those teams are they're so lethal that there's got to be, if the score is 2-1, then you get the over, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I think it's definitely the over.
Exactly.
So that
that's
seems
how I
like
feel it.
the biggest slam dunk to me.
Thank you for saying that. That is the slam dunk of the week.
Oh, who is it? Caitlin Clark style. Well, I don't know if she dunks, but if she did dunk,
If she did dunk. Oh, shout out the Gamecocks for
Yep.
winning the women's national championship
Yep.
in college basketball hoops.
Yep.
That was a really fun matchup to watch, but that is a different sport. We're back in the footy right now.
yeah,
As well, Real Madrid versus Manchester City. That's a rematch of last year's semifinal. Manchester City
That's gonna
was
be a hell of a
victorious.
game.
That is going to be a crazy matchup. They play each other. It was no real team turnover, and that's why I'm just like,
from last year.
yeah, from both teams.
They've maintained most of their squads. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I'm keeping it under 3 because both matchups were either 2 goals or 1 goal. Like, it wasn't a very prolific scoring affair. So
Is Holland still like just absolutely? He's still got to
He's-
be leading the league in the EPL in scoring, right?
That's a good question. I need to pull that up. If we had
Where's our fact check? Jiggy fact check.
Where's our fact check? But
He's
yeah,
got to because last year he was on an absolute tear.
yeah, very true. He was, but against Real Madrid last year, he was not scoring against that back
Right.
line. So Rudiger, I don't know if you remember the German national.
Yep.
He's going to be man marking him all over the pitch. So we'll see how that goes.
He's on Real Madrid now.
Yep.
He
Last
was
few-
on
last few years.
Yeah. Because he was on Chelsea before with
Yep.
Pulisic. I remember.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
They just had to do a huge exodus once their owner left. So
Ibrahimovic was it? Is that his name?
yeah,
Did I just make that up?
Ibrahimovic is the player.
It's a player. Close enough.
Abramovich.
Something Abramovich.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the owner.
So
yeah.
he left,
Yeah,
and
well, he didn't
then-
leave. He kind of got forced out because of the Russian, the war.
Yep.
So he had to go. He was an
They're like,
oligarch.
yo, you gotta go.
Yeah. You can't keep
happening.
that going.
Exactly. Okay. So that's gonna be. Looks like we got some exciting games coming. There's a lot of good stuff coming up in the next couple months.
Next couple of months
Let's go.
is just yeah.
Let's go.
Can't wait for you're just going to be able to see it just back to back to back to
When's
back.
the Champions League final?
That is in May. It's usually end of May.
We're spoiled.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
have-
And then right after that, we get all of the international matches because Euro 24 is happening this year as well.
Holy, are you serious?
Yeah, we're getting hit with
I
everything.
completely forgot because I've been so focused on the Copa America. Let's go USA.
Yeah.
But we have the Champions League, and then we have the Euros. Oh, because the Euros were in 2021, so I didn't know if they were going to push it back because it's every 4 years, so it's going to be this summer. They're maintaining a normal schedule.
They had changed it because of the World Cup.
Right.
Yeah.
So we got the Euros, we have the Copa America, and on top of that, we have the Olympics.
Yep. It's going to be an insane time, and please just keep listening to us because we're going to be able to get you through it, get you all caught up and understanding why. Why is this all happening at once?
Why are we so lucky? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's
but
awesome.
I plan on going to as many games as I can, and hopefully there's some good games here in the Meadowlands where I don't know where's the final going to be. You know,
For
Copa America.
I believe it may be in Texas.
Is it going to be in
I
Texas?
believe so. If not Texas, we can get our fact check.
If the USA makes the final, I'm flying there. I don't care. I'm calling in sick.
I feel it. Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, yeah. That is where I'm at, and then I wanted to leave the floor over to you because we wanted to go back and forth on how we want to do our main topics subjects for the week. So
Sure.
I'm all out. So yeah, where are we at?
Yeah, I think one thing that's really interesting is how soccer we we briefly touched on this last time, but how soccer is so popular among youths, and then once you get to around the high school age, there's a decline in participation, and sorry, recovering from the weekend still, and it's soccer is the most like among I think 6 to 12-year-olds or something around that range. It's the most popular sport in the country, and then there is a decline, and then even though, like we said last time, it's still the 4th most popular sport, but people tend to go, especially in urban areas, more football and basketball.
Yeah.
Baseball is still more popular overall than soccer, but how do we keep people from going? For example, I'm just thinking me. I think I'm like a very common example. I played soccer until freshman year of high school. I played on the JV team, and then I was like, soccer's not that cool. I want to, my dad played baseball, so I played baseball, and then I continued playing basketball. So how do we get like 14-year-old PJ, for example, to continue playing? Because there's certainly an opportunity, and both of us big NFL fans, right? I love football.
Yeah.
But youth participation in football is going down because
Should.
people are realizing that, wait a minute, dragging someone violent into the ground every single play is bad for you. Yeah, maybe my kid will play soccer. So there was a decline in soccer participation. I think it might be going up again. We'll see it with the Messi effect. But with the most popular sport in America now, football, having a decline in youth participation, it's sad in one aspect because I love football, but it's a violent sport, and it's not that good for you.
It's not that great. And I mean, it's great to watch when the pros do it, even in college, but agree. But as well, what we're also seeing in footy for youth is a lot of people are starting to understand the concussion side. And I think that's just all across the board in majority of sports. I don't know if baseball or basketball really have to deal with concussions as much.
Not as much.
Yeah,
no.
but with
and
footy,
for soccer, unless you're Taylor Twellman, who I love because he would just like jump up and try to get every header. And he had like a million concussions. But very broadly speaking, football is the most dangerous. I mean, maybe hockey too.
Yeah, hockey would be up there.
What that means is there's an opportunity for more people to get involved in soccer. And I was doing some research on like the effects of enrolling your children in soccer and having them participate. It like has positive effects on like their development and their teamwork ability. And soccer does have injuries, obviously, but
of course,
broadly speaking, they're generally not as bad as football.
So yeah, go a little bit deeper into like some of that research, just because I understand why youth need to be just kind of more integrated in, especially when you get to 13, 14, the world is kind of opened up to you. You get into either high school or, high school is 13, 14, and then after that you have to figure out where you are. And then most of the time, if you're not playing, you have another outside of school project, or you just have school to care about by itself. I think now you have to worry about a little bit more extracurricular, and that's where footy can still come in and be like that one extra, but you also have a myriad of other sports. You have track and field, you have swimming, like you have different ways to engage. So like, where are you seeing why is that drop off happening there, and like why do you want to continue to push that for youth to keep going?
That's a great question, and there's many layers to it, right? So for example, when I was a child, it literally was because my dad pushed me to play other sports more. I mean, it's not that he didn't like soccer, but he never played soccer. So, I would continue to play catch with him. And I think culturally other sports are bigger. Baseball was the major sport. So I, wanted to play baseball. I wanted to play in high school and stuff. So, or in college. But more recently, there's also been a decline in sports participation in general, among youth, and it's bad because there's a lot of virtual things going on, and it's not good for the development of children to not be outside and doing these things. So I think it's really important. I think it would be cool to have a guest who really knows the youth soccer landscape, but I just kind of wanted to have a broad conversation on this and have maybe a discussion with you guys. If maybe you're 14 and watching us, and that's cool, or you have a kid that's 14 and is watching. But you do kind of see that decline, but we'll see how it goes going forward. I mean, I am optimistic because the league is doing better. Participation in or attendance in the MLS is good. The U.S. team is doing better, and we got Messi here. I was reading an article from the Athletic that might have an effect, on making kids want to play. I mean, you do see little kids, we're walking around New York, they're wearing the Messi jersey.
Yeah, I'm seeing that a lot more. I'm also seeing some New York Red Bulls kind of coming back because of that new DP, Emil Forsberg. Right. He came over from Red Bull over in
He's
Germany.
Where is he from?
I believe he's Swedish. Need a fact check on that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fact check, please. But I got a good quote from the New York Times, and this is something we touched on. This is a big thing. Although a lot of people are advocating to find a better system, and I think it's very on point for what we want to talk about. So if someone who really knows the system can maybe comment, but it said the exodus of players in youth leagues has drawn recriminations over clubs and leagues that have pushed and profited from a pay-for-play model that has turned off parents and kept out talent from poorer, underserved communities. Basically, from when I remember when I was young, you can play on the local team and it's not that expensive. But if you want to take it to the next level, like the travel teams, the club teams, that costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
And people, in the inner cities don't have that money. So a lot of our potential best athletes can't afford to play. So
it's not just inner cities that can't do it, because we see it with AAU teams. Like they figure out a way. Like in New York, I've seen enough kids actively trying to sell candy about trying to get their teams to go to.
I know.
Yeah. Do you support that? Do you ever give your dollar out for that?
Sometimes.
All
the time, 100% of the time, I always give.
Okay. But yeah, like you see it across the board. Like a lot of it's not just an inner city issue. Like I've seen it with some suburban teams where you're one of my big initiatives that I was really big about with the Cosmos, New York Cosmos here with the soccer team.
Worked for the Cosmos for a couple of years.
Yeah, that was to actively get tickets attached to a specific group size. So if you are selling to try to go to different games, I would attach a ticket size number. So 20 tickets from me gets you this much to be able to come to our games, and you get like extra swag. You get to be a part of the be a mascot, walking out with the different teams that
you
come.
get to be a mascot.
Yeah, so it would be the kids that would be the mascots with it. Yeah, so you would have
be a mascot. Can I be a kid?
You have U9s, you would have U12s. It depends on like the different what the teams were able to do.
Right.
But that created the community aspect of it as well, where you can create the bridge that can kind of gap club teams with teams that are doing pay for play.
Right.
Now, I don't know if that's still going on as much, or because of different economic issues that are arising as well as inflation, you're not seeing as many opportunities for these things to happen anymore. Right. But I do know that those programs are there to help. But back to your point.
So there are initiatives that are being taken right now.
Yeah, you just have to be able to find and come to a common ground with different teams. Gotcha. Depending on the different areas that you are, like I've seen all across the states over on Instagram or different social media outlets, you're seeing like Detroit. They have their own soccer team out there, and they're doing some really amazing advertising. And
Detroit, what level?
They are US, I believe, if not USL, but they are under it. But then you also have they're doing amazing things with their community, trying to get all of the different travel teams very involved outside of there. You have the Oakland team that is starting to I believe they're about to join MLS, or they've put in a bid to join MLS.
Everyone wants to join MLS now.
I mean, if you can get that 30th slot taken care of, it makes sense, especially within that franchise owner model that the MLS runs.
Yeah.
But they have been doing a lot of good things with their community, grassroots wise. So you're always going to see the teams that are doing the most with a lot of club teams, trying to get a lot of participation, because that's how you get fans. That's how you get fans of teams. You get them young, and then suddenly you have that club partnership with each other.
Right.
Now, I don't know if that's going to continue on or if we're going to keep going down that same path. But right now, I'm a little worried, especially listening to the numbers that you gave a little bit earlier about like dropping participation. So
Right. Yeah. And yeah, I think just making it more affordable in general, because I mean the league is doing good things. Like I mean, for example, you were talking about the Oakland team. If they want to join the league, the cost to enter the MLS as a club is somewhere in the ballpark of like $500 million.
I think that is, that'll.
I mean, the highest, most expensive team, I think, is Atlanta United, perhaps, and they're worth almost $1 billion. We're talking the same value as teams in the other major leagues, like in the NBA and
Yeah.
the MLB. Maybe not quite the NFL, but close.
Mm.
But close. So they're doing well at the top level, but there are a lot of foreign players. So the top is doing good things, and it's just getting the youth development, making it more affordable to everyone. Because football, like I'm wondering why football does so, like how football is just so well marketed, and how the NFL is succeeding, and how people from the inner cities can afford it. I guess to be good at football, you just have to make your high school team, and that's not that expensive.
Well, football is also marketed differently in different markets. Like, not to go too much into business, but we see college sports in the South are huge with football, especially athletes. People know, like, that is the route to get out. But now we're starting to see people do Project Mbappe or Project Marta. You try to get your kids.
It'd be cool if the route to get out is now playing, left back.
Exactly.
Not just running back.
Exactly. Like Mbappe just he was offered almost $1 billion to continue playing for PSG. Now he's going to switch over to Real Madrid. Marta, she just came over to the NWSL. That's the women's league in the United States. And she's been killing it here. And you now have all of these different opportunities for people to understand, like, you don't just have to have one outlet to get your kid to do something new,
Yeah.
Like, that's amazing to see, but it's going to take a while. Like, football has America on a chokehold right now.
It is.
Like,
it is.
They know
you
can't get rid of that.
I just wanted to look at football because I think they've done well, and to try to see like how soccer can emulate that, because the traditional sport in America was baseball, and football's like, this is way cooler.
This is way better.
But now there's some backlash among for youth, people with kids, that wait, this is kind of dangerous, so maybe they are going to switch over to soccer. We just have to make it more affordable, because a lot of the celebrities now are like wearing soccer jerseys, Messi jerseys, like, so.
Well, we're still
it's
seeing
kind of becoming that new
we're still seeing a Nexus event with it. We're still seeing like growth with it, but there can always be a little bit better, more well-informed as well, like we were talking about with our episode last week. The advertising needs to grow. That can also influence different members to watch and get more involved.
For sure.
Once you see that cycle starting, then you're going to be able to see just more involvement from different teams and different stages of life around.
Yeah, I don't know too much on the advertising front, but it seems like a big opportunity. I mean, if there's a giant picture of Messi in Times Square, that's definitely going to get people excited.
Yeah, but you need to know who you're marketing to. And going back to where we started, like, if we're trying to keep youth really involved all the way through, they need to know where their avenues lie. Not everybody wants to play footy in college. Like, not everybody, like, you have players like Christian Pulisic who went abroad and his family uprooted themselves to go over. Not everybody is going to want to stay within the MLS system. You have club teams that have their own youth soccer development teams. Not everybody's going to want to do that.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, because to really make it as an elite player, you generally don't go to college. College doesn't really exist for soccer players in other countries.
Outside of the U.S.
The system is completely different. Like, you get selected to a youth team if you're good, and you follow that, and you eventually, if everything goes well, you go pro. But in every other sport in America, it's you're a great high school player, then you play a few years in college, whether you're playing, you want to play football, basketball, or hockey, and then you take it to the next level. But soccer is different in that aspect, right? It's almost seen as now as, he went and played in college, like he wasn't good enough to go pro.
But we're still seeing some really good talents come out of college. Don't want to belittle that. But it is a very big difference when you see someone who went over to Barcelona's youth system at 14 and was trained in La Masia all the way up into they were 19, and now they're out of it and they're now playing pro. I believe we don't have any players right now in the U.S., or I can probably look that up for a fact check for later, but I believe that's like the ideal situation that people want to go into. Serginho Dest, how did he... Yeah,
that's my guy right here.
He's the man.
Destino.
Yeah, he was exactly.
Destino.
He was over in Europe. I mean, he was born there, but he also went through the different trials and tribulations of youth footy over there. And then once we see where his growth, like he was in Barcelona and then suddenly he's over at PSV now. He's killing it on that as a right wing back. Like they're different forms, but not everybody's always going to make it.
Yeah.
Like sports is competitive because not everybody can do it.
Yeah, it's tough because I think it's a difficult conversation because ideally for their professional development as a player, they probably shouldn't go to college. But in terms of their life, that's a whole other tangent.
Yeah.
It is good to have education. So
it's huge to have education.
Yeah.
And you're going to see different people from different walks of life to try to be able to fix that or mitigate that for you. Really big initiative that I'm seeing over in Germany, Frimpong, he plays for
Who?
Frimpong. He is a right wing back over for Bayer Leverkusen.
Frimpong.
Yeah, he is Dutch, and he talks in very great length about how he's seen a bunch of his mates not be able to make it, and so they don't have a life. And right now,
they dedicated their life to playing, and then they didn't go to college. They were trying to
tried to be a
level.
They tried to
and
be.
And then
a
what
fan.
happens next?
Exactly, and they didn't really have an outlet. So what he did was he's killing it right now. Their team is title leading, and they are undefeated, as you would say, invincible right now. They get a chance to win the title next
Leverkusen?
week. Yep. Yeah.
They're up there with Bayern.
Bayern is not doing well this week. This is why I said Arsenal is going to take that. But Frimpong, he has created his own business to be able to reach out with players that haven't been able to make it and give them different skill sets to be able to make it within their future lives now. So there are opportunities, but you need someone to be able to understand where you're coming from and where you can go.
Exactly.
And with youth footy here, I just don't see that breakdown communicated clearly enough to a lot of players.
Right. Did you play when you were younger?
No, I wasn't a player. Funny enough, I got into it in college after actually playing. I was an intramural ref, and then I was also asked to run around to play different games, and it's like, okay, I can still do this. But yeah, I never played. I was a swimmer. So why would I jump in and get boots? And then suddenly I'm playing with you guys in Blaine, Minnesota for our pickup matches every morning, and I'm just like, okay, I actually can do this. So
what was your turning point that got you you got into soccer a little later in life, like me?
Not later. I mean, like we discussed, it was the games.
I consider 20 late. Considering
I didn't get into it that late.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was around 16, 17 for me.
Okay.
I mean, that's pretty late for people that are over in Europe, but American sports consumption is completely different than we have over there. But yeah, I got into it when I was young enough, but the playing portion of it didn't happen until after I was in school. So
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. It'll be interesting going forward, especially because there's a lot of people who have parents from other countries, so they do have it in their blood here. And for example, I'm surprised that there's not more Latino representation in the highest level. We have a few players, but it's not as many as you would think. So
I think we do, but you also have to understand the ones that aren't playing in the United States, in MLS, Liga MX, Mexicans, the Mexico's biggest major league. There is a lot of Latin talent that are also U.S. citizens that are down there.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
but League MX is corrupt, but that's another.
That's
another topic.
That's another topic. But yeah,
we'll invite one of my Mexican friends, and they can talk about that because it's an interesting topic because
for sure.
It has the U.S. has kind of eclipsed Mexico because the Mexican league is just buying players and not letting, and they're hindering their development.
Yeah.
So that's. I think we're doing good at the top, and they're maybe doing good at the lower ages, but then so we just need to get the lower age development to be continued.
Got it. Well, yeah. Any final thoughts on this?
No, I mean it'd be cool to have someone who a guest that's maybe an expert, whether they're an SO coach or someone like that who works in development, we can use your connections to.
Well, yeah, I've started to reach
But-
out to different connections, and yeah, just the longevity of how things are going, and just about timing of how we're going to keep this going. So yeah.
What are you looking forward to over the next coming month or two?
Oh, I really wanted to dive in about referees. I think that is the next big topic I want to go into, just because this past weekend watching some of the referees and then knowing coming up internationally, referees, how important they are, and then me being an intramural ref for so long, I have a really big
You are an expert then.
Yeah,
I mean,
I have
you
a really big passion for
world-class intramural referee right here.
I have a really big passion about refereeing and how good or bad it can be, especially with footy. So
Okay, we can save it for next time. I mean, I feel like I don't know too much, specifically in terms of what's going on with that right now in soccer, but it's definitely changed the broader sports landscape a lot for the better. I think, baseball's an interesting one as well, like with how they're changing the rules and like the pitch clocks and stuff. But yeah, we can dive into that in the future.
Well, yeah, thank you guys again for listening with us. It's STEM Boys Watch Footy. I'm your boy E. It's PJ.
DJ PJ here.
We are closing out. Have a great weekend.